In this video, I'm going to teach you the top 9 ways to incorporate your signature story for your greatest level of impact. I'm Dr. Dan, I'm a neurostrategist, I'm a coach, and I get fired up to help on-purpose entrepreneurs just like you take your message to the masses. In this video, we're talking about your signature story. That is the story of who you are, where you came from, and ultimately what you're set to do.
Your passion.
You may think, I don't need that, or maybe I don't have one. I'm gonna tell you, you would be missing out on the single greatest weapon and piece of technology you could ever implement to build trust and therefore sell with less effort and more effectiveness. Your signature story is your fingerprint. It's unique to you and only you, but it also allows you to connect to humans unlike anything else. If you look at big companies, they're trying to create messaging in their branding to make themselves appear small to their consumers because they know that consumers buy from people they know, like, and trust. Well, we don't know, like, and trust big conglomerates or big companies or corporations. We trust humans. And so they're trying to make their message smaller, yet I work with companies who are saying, I want to make my message bigger or sound like I'm bigger. I'm like, no. You want to build trust. And there's no way to build that trust in a more effective, results-oriented approach than your story. Simon Sinek said, people buy the why you do what you do before the what or the how. That's important because your story helps them know why you do versus leaving it up to their own conclusions, which would ultimately be about making money. They think that you're there to make money versus you're there to serve them. Your story helps bring out your true, genuine purpose and passion. So now you have your story. And by the way, there's a structure to a story that's so vital. I teach this to my clients. The right structure produces the right hormones within the bloodstream so that they take action. It is a biological approach. I teach it in the trust formula for one reason, and that is so that even introverts like me can get results time and time again by using something that's so real, so right, and so easy to communicate as their story. Now, I've said this many times before. I'm an introvert. I'm the 5th of 8 children. I didn't know how to use story. I didn't know how to communicate. I took 2 English classes in college, so I didn't have to take a speech class. I didn't grow up with the gene of how to communicate. I didn't grow up with a charismatic bone in my body. I had a hard time communicating. I was so shy and introverted, I didn't want to make anybody mad. I didn't want to be rejected ever. And so I know some of you out there, you can relate to what I'm saying. And I'm here to say that your superpower actually can be the thing that you didn't have talent around. Now I look at it as my superpower was a lack of ability to communicate effectively because it caused me to work harder at it. It caused me to go back to first principles. How does communication even work? How does the brain receive information and do something about it? So now you have your signature story. I want to teach you exactly how to incorporate it in 9 different areas of your business that's going to give you the largest ROI, return on investment. Number 9 is you are going to use your story when you meet new people. I remember joining a business networking international group, BNI, when I was first in business. And to be honest, I stayed there for only a year because every time I would go in there and talk about what I had to offer, I used facts and data and stats and logic and research. I never used my story. So I thought that networking group didn't work, so I dropped out. Well, little did I know, I just wasn't connecting with people. Listen, never let what you want to say get in the way of what your audience needs to hear. What my audience needed to hear was that I have a story that I relate with them, because your story will help them remember you, relate with you, and refer more people to you. Number 8, you are going to use this in your social media platforms. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Long form, short form. Your story helps distract them. They're already busy and paying attention to everything else. In fact, their attention level is so low. Research shows that we are exposed to more information in 10 minutes today than we were for an entire lifetime just 100 years ago. So the brain is wired to check out. Your story distracts them and brings them in to your message. Number 7 is your YouTube channel. You're gonna start a YouTube channel. Right now, YouTube is the cat's meow. You're hearing this on YouTube, which is a sign that is a big deal. The way that you put out better content and more content is that you use your story in the YouTube channel. You use your story as a means to build like, and trust, right? Everybody knows that I want people to know me, like me, and trust me. Well, how are they gonna do that? With your story. How are they gonna hear that? On YouTube. So you need to start a YouTube channel, and I'm speaking to the choir because you're consuming this on YouTube, therefore you know it's a good channel, just do it. Your story needs to be on your website, particularly in the About Me page. Surveys show that the #1 most visited page on your website is your About Me page. But this About Me page, ironically, can't just be about how great you are, or what you've done, or what you have to offer. It needs to be about your losses, the vulnerability, the challenges, the conflict that you went to have passion for what you do. You need a family picture so it humanizes you, and then your story along with that, told in the right way, will bond people to you so that they'll call you or look for answers from you over any of your competition because you built this strong bond. We actually can measure that. It's called oxytocin. When you put your story into the right structure on your website, in your About Me page, people will be drawn to you. Number 5, all of your content needs to have your fingerprint of your story in it. The cornerstone of the content you create, blogs, videos, articles, needs to be your story. And your story told again in the right manner. Right? It's not about how great you are or put yourself on a pedestal. It's about your story of how you had conflict, how you had a test, how you sought for solutions, and how you were skeptical, you were emotional, you were just like them. And when they hear your content, they're going to be drawn to you, not because of how great you are, but because you experienced something that allows them to say,
wow, they get me.
Number 4 is your live talks, presentations, workshop. This could be online or offline. I teach my clients how every time they present to an audience, it could be 1 or it could be 1,000, that they know how to structure their story. We call it bookend, at the beginning, at the end. But I don't care where you put it in. If you haven't done it yet, just put it in. A poorly told signature story beats better facts, data, science, and research every day of the week. Number 3, this kind of goes without saying, this is a biggie, all of your marketing. Despite what an agency is going to tell you, if you want to stick out in today's world, it's all about trust. How do you build trust? You actually have your signature story connecting to your audience like never before. Now, as I'm sounding like a broken record, you got to have the right structure to do it. Again, this isn't all about how great you are. It's about your weakness. It's about your vulnerability. It's humanizing your message so you increase that empathy, which increases that trust. It gets them to know you, it gets them to like you, and it gets them to trust you. I teach my clients how to do this with 1 step. Instead of 7 steps that a lot of other agencies teach, we do it in 1 step.
We only need 1.
Because of the scientific bond that we can produce with your signature story. You need to create content that's going to remove them from pain, that's going to bring them attentive to the pain, because that's how the brain is wired. You have 6,200 thoughts every single day, of which 80% of them are negative. When you market to cold traffic, go with the negative. If you want more info on this, let me know. This is a huge reason why most of your marketing may not be working. Number 2 is your email campaigns. Email is so critical to building any business. Everybody's using email marketing, as you should be, because it's the thing that can't be censored. It can't be taken away from you like other social platforms can. How do you get the best results with your email? You use your signature story, both in the headline and in the copy. You cannot overuse story, right? Remember, facts tell, stories sell. You need an email list. You need to be constantly building that email list, and you need to be sending out good, valuable content on a weekly basis to your email list. And the more story you put in it, the higher your open rates will be and the higher your click-through rates will be, which means you have more eyeballs on your message and you're gonna get a better response. And the number 1 spot to incorporate your signature story is in your conversion process. When you're asking for money, you better have your story in there. One survey showed that when they added 1 story to a product, it increased the value of that product by 30 times. They got 30x revenue return by just adding a story. So when you're talking money, you need to connect your story. I teach my clients exactly how to do this in their sales process, in their pitch, in their report of findings. Any communication that's going to ask for a commitment, for a sale, for money, for a buy-in is going to be better when you have your story in it. And again, it's all based on how the brain is wired. I myself can attest to a $30,000 week by implementing my story when I didn't know what I was doing. But that one thing catapulted my business and actually really transformed my life, like it has done for a lot of my clients. If you need help with this, click one of the links below. That's what we do all day, every day. Those are the 9 ways to incorporate your signature story into your business.